So we gotta talk about our good friend Nick Wright. We gotta talk. I cannot go a whole week without talking about Nick Wright. Nick Rome. Listen, Nick Rome has Michael Jordan third all time. Third all time. Any list that got Michael Jordan third all time need not to be taken seriously. Like, we need seriously. The guy needs seriously therapy. Like, he's want to push LeBron James to the. We already know who his number one guy gonna be. It's gonna be LeBron James. Number two, he's gonna put Kareem number two. So we don't have to look forward to the list. We know the list. Who's gonna be? He's gonna make him all kind of certain ridiculous statements about LeBron. When LeBron went to 10 finals, he drug a team with no other All-Star. He did all this without. He's never going to mention how great Dwayne Wade is, right? He's never going to mention how great Chris Bosh was. He's never going to mention how great Kevin Love is when he was in Minnesota, right? He's never going to mention those things. If I was Kevin Love, I would have been in Minnesota my whole career, made the playoffs a handful of times, been a 10, 12-time All-Star, averaging 23, 22, 23, 24, 12, 11 rebounds for my career. Kevin Love would have legit averaged 23 points, 11 rebounds for his career. Chris Bosh would have legitimately averaged over 22 a night and 10 rebounds for his career. Legitimately. Now they had 19. Chris Bosh had 19 and 9, 19 and 10. I think Kevin Love had 17 and 10 for his career. Nobody cares. Like, Charles Barkley never won a championship, but he's an iconic figure because he played his whole prime till he joined the Rockets, being the man and not worried about chasing championship. So did Allen Iverson. Like, so did Patrick Ewing. Like, they are more famous because they stayed in one spot. Now, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Love legacy is tied to LeBron James. It only benefited LeBron James. So Nick Wright is not going to mention that. They would have been all-time great. Kevin Love probably been a top 75 player if he didn't join. I'm gonna say it. Kevin Love would have been a top 75 player if he didn't join LeBron James. The stats he would have put up would have been undeniable. If Anthony Davis already a top 75 player, imagine what Kevin Love was doing. Chris Bosh would have been a top 75 player and should have still been a top 75 player playing with LeBron, but he was not top 75 player because he played with LeBron James. That's just a fact. That is undeniable fact. If he played by himself, been a 10-time, he would have been like a 13, 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-Star, 22 points a night, 10 rebounds, perennial All-Star, made the playoffs majority of the time in Toronto. He would have been a goddamn top 75 player. No question. But they're not top 75 players because they played third fiddle to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, or third fiddle to LeBron and Kyrie. So Nick Wright's not going to mention that, but he's going to mention Michael Jordan played with Scottie Pippen, was a Hall of Fame top 75 player. Dennis Rodman was a top 75 player. Dennis Rodman, who was not in his prime at that time. People got to realize Scottie Pippen was not an All-Star in the 1998 last dance, the championship. He was not an All-Star. So Michael was on the lone All-Star on that last championship, if you watch the last dance. But LeBron James played with multiple All-Stars at one time. So we got to get that out of so that's the type of thing he's gonna bring up. He's gonna bring up LeBron James came with expectations as a young and lived up to all expectations as a youngster. He's gonna bring up the fact that LeBron was 18, came in, but he's gonna bring up Michael Jordan had a bad record his first 2 seasons making the playoff. But he's not gonna mention LeBron James' first 2 seasons didn't make the playoff. He's not gonna mention that LeBron James beat, I believe, 3 teams in the playoffs that did not win 40 games. He beat 3 teams in the playoffs that did not win 40 games. And that was all in Eastern Conference. He's not going to bring the fact up that LeBron James played against the weakest competition ever. Kobe and Michael and Tim Duncan has the highest win percentage against 50-plus win teams. He beat the most 50-plus win team. LeBron James is tied with Magic Johnson with, I think, 10 or 13 50-win teams he actually won't beat. I believe the number's 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, or it's 13. It's either one of those numbers. But it's no higher than 15. So it's Tim Duncan, it's Michael, it's Kobe Bryant, who beat the best competition in NBA history. LeBron James is up there, was with Magic Johnson. They beat the worst teams. And as I repeat, he beat 3 teams under 40 wins in the Eastern Conference. But Nick Wright's not going to mention that when he say he's number 1 player all time. He's going to mention that LeBron James is going to break the all-time career record in Kareem. He's going to mention that LeBron James is a better passer. He's going to mention all those things. LeBron James controlled the whole offense. LeBron James orchestrate everything. LeBron James had to be the center of attention. They didn't win the championship in 2011 because Dwayne Wade was still running the show, and LeBron James needed to run the show. So it's funny how they say Kobe's selfish because he took a back seat to Shaq in the finals. Let Shaq beat up barbecue chicken in the Eastern Conference in the finals, but called Kobe selfish. I think Kobe's one of the most unselfish superstars in NBA history. Kobe could have went off. He got the ball and he could have jacked up so many shots in them finals. He could have gunned for the MVP. They should have won the series, I believe, against them sorry teams against them barbecue chickens. And Shaq could have averaged 28, 29, and Kobe could have averaged 29, 30. But Kobe went straight to the matchup problem, and he went to Shaq in the finals. But LeBron James in the finals, when you see Dwayne Wade had shoot 50+% from the field, 26 led that whole series in points, 26.5 points a night. You averaging 17. You couldn't play up to Dwayne Wade's standard. You couldn't be second fiddle to Dwayne Wade. You had to be first fiddle. And Dwayne Wade, being the man that the great player he is, kid by Joe Legacy, took a backseat to you. But Kobe don't get the same respect Dwayne Wade get when he's come to taking a backseat to Shaq in those finals, because we all know Kobe ran the West in conference. Against the better competition, Kobe did his thing. He was the best player. But against inferior competition, Shaq was the best player. So we already know that. That been debunked. We all know that. But the media don't bring that up. But I'm going to bring it up. LeBron James needed for Chris Bosh to be the third guy and for Dwayne Wade to be the second guy. And how selfish is that? Now, he the selfish one. LeBron James is the selfish one. He's not going to bring them points up, and I'm going to bring it up for y'all. And I thought I'd share this video. I want y'all to like, subscribe, and keep on coming, and keep on subscribing, and keep on liking, and coming below. I'm out.